Joint distributions. So there is the subtopic, sub-definition of statistical independence. We said that x and y be two random variables, discrete or continuous, with joint probability distribution f of x comma y and marginal distributions g of x and h of y, okay, respectively. The random variables are said to be statistically independent if and only if f of xy can be written as g of x into h of y for all x comma y within their range. Okay, so basically it simply means that you can write f of x as a product of gx and hy separately. Okay, so you can separate all the x terms and all the y terms. Okay, finish writing this. Okay, write fast. Like you all can say, for example, if your f of xy is e raised to x into y square, this can be written as f of x, sorry, I'll have to solve it on a new page only. Okay, this will write later on the new page. Work has to be done here. Who's writing? Write fast. Okay, so see this. We know that we had seen in the last class that f of x given y, this was f of x comma y upon h of y, where h was the marginal distribution. Okay, so now if x and y are independent, it means that x does not depend on y and y does not depend on x, right? Okay, so this will imply that f of x given that y has happened has no effect, y has no effect on x, so this will be just g of x, okay, the marginal distribution over here. Okay, so thus what we'll get is g of x is nothing but f of xy into h of xy. Oh, sorry, this is just h of y. Right, so this will give you f of xy into g of x into h of y. Okay, so in other words, the joint distribution can be written as a product of individual distributions. Okay, the the marginal distribution with respect to x into marginal distribution with respect to y. Okay, so if this can be done, then we say it is independent. Okay, so let's go back to this example which we have done, where it is. Okay, so in this example which we had seen here, let us just verify if the statement is true on the previous pages. So notice here, this f of y given x, if it is equal to h of y, then we say it is going to be equal to statistically independent. Okay, but what is happening now? F of y given x is equal to this, and h of y is equal to this 1 plus, what is it, 2 by 5, 1 plus 3y. Okay, that is not correct, right? So just observe from here. F of xy for this problem is 2 by 5, 2x plus 3y. G of x is 1 by 5 into 4x plus 3. Okay, hy is, what is hy? 2 by 5 1 plus 3y. Okay, you can clearly see that f of xy is not equal to gx into hy. Okay, if you multiply g and h, you'll get something else, you won't get f. Okay, that is clear, no? You'll get 25 as the denominator only in the first place. Numerator will be 4x plus 12xy. There will be one xy term basically. If you multiply both of them, there will be one xy term, and but in f of xy there is no xy term. Okay, that can be clearly seen. Okay, write down now in example 2. This is example 2 over there. In example 2, this is happening. So f is not, x and y are not independent. Okay, x and y are not statistically independent. Okay, so this can be easily verified for each and every problem which is given to you. If they come equal, you say they are statistically independent. Here they are not. Okay, please no. Here it has to be verified in particular. Okay, for this first example, you can just write down. Next thing I'm writing there in example 1. Let us verify by taking some points. Okay, in discrete distributions you'll have to take points because anyways it's going to be difficult. So what is going to be f of 1 1 is going to become 5c1, 2c1 and 3c0 upon 10c2. 5c1 is going to be 5, this is going to be 2, this is going to be 1 upon 45. Okay, 10c2 was 45, this we had calculated yesterday. Okay, next, what is going to be g of 1 and what is going to be h of 1? Let us just find out these two numbers and see if they are same. G of 1 is 25 by 45. 25 by 45. H of 1 I'll have to see down somewhere. 16 by 45. Okay, h of 1 is 16 by 45. Clearly you can notice that this is not true. F of 1 comma 1 is not okay, so even this one is not statistically independent. Just write down there x and y are not statistically independent. If you multiply this, what you'll get by the way? 650. This will become 400 numerator by 45 the whole square, and this is just 10 by 45. This is actually 25 into 16 upon 45 into 45. So it will become 400 by 45 into 45. This is 580, so this is 9. This is 5 9s are, and this is 5 16. 16. And this was 1 upon 2 upon 9, this will become. Okay, F11 will simplify to, this is 5 into 2 by 45. You can cancel this. This is 9, this is 1. Okay, so this is going to be 2 by 9. This is not equal to 16 by 81. Okay, so hence x and y are statistically independent. Not independent, are not statistically independent. Okay, if you want to prove they're statistically independent, you'll have to prove this is true for every value of x and y. Okay, means for every value of x and y they should be equal. If they are not equal, that means they are not statistically independent. Even if it is not equal for one value, it is not independent. If they are equal for everyone, then only they will become independent. Okay, so now let's go to the next topic, that is on distributions. Okay, so okay, so let us start with this. No, this is only 2 slides, 5 slides. Don't copy this down because it's too much to write. What I'm going to do next. You can copy it down later. Just pay attention to the examples. That is more important. Okay, so let's go to the one kind of distribution that is called a Poisson distribution. Okay, this is pronounced as Poisson, but some people call it Poisson. Poisson spelling is not this in the first place. Okay, so moving on. So this Poisson distribution is dependent on something called a Poisson process. So what is a Poisson process? It's a process which has the following properties. Okay, The number of outcomes occurring during one time interval or a specified region of space is independent of the number of that occur in any other disjoint time interval or region. Okay, in this sense, we say that a Poisson process has no memory. Okay, what does this statement actually mean is, if you take one example like this, like we are counting the number of people who are coming and standing in a line. Okay, so the number of people who come and stand in the line at 10 o'clock in the morning is independent of the number of people who come and stand in the line at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Okay, so what is happening in one time interval is independent of what is happening in another time interval. Okay, it's not always time interval, you can also measure it in terms of areas. So the number of people living in 1 square kilometer in Panjim is independent of number of people living in 1 square kilometer of Margao city. Clear, no? Okay, there is no relation whatsoever over there. Like, if there is more crowd of people in Panjim, does not mean there will be more crowd in Margao. Okay, so that's what it's saying. The number of people who will find in 1 square kilometer will be different from 1 square kilometer in Margao and Panjim. Okay, next, the probability that a single outcome will occur during a very short interval or time or in a very small region is proportional to the length of the time interval or the size of the region and does not depend on the number of outcomes occurring outside this time interval or region. Okay, so if you take a very small piece of land, the number of people staying over there will also be very small. How small depends on how small piece of land you have taken. If you have taken only 1 square meter of a land, how many people can be staying there? Nobody, no? Now, by the way, 1 square kilometer is the size of one tile over here. Huh? Okay, so nobody can build a house within this, no? So, okay, so same way, the smaller you take, the lesser is the probability of you finding someone over there. Okay, same way, if you are talking in the number of people coming and standing in the line, then the possibility that somebody will come and stand in the line within 1 second is very less, right? No, but if you take the number of people who are coming and standing in the line within the time interval of 10 minutes, that will be larger than that. Okay, it will be larger, but it will not be negligible. Okay, but if you make your time interval very small, like 1 second, 2 seconds or something, then the number of people who are coming in the line will be also very small over there. Okay, okay, so the probability that more than one outcome will occur in such a short interval is also very negligible. So the probability that two people will come and stand in the line within a small 1 second interval is also very less, or probability there will be two people staying within a small region, that is also very less. Okay, so if all these conditions are satisfied, then we call it as a Poisson process. Okay, two examples I have already given you: number of people staying in 1 square kilometer or number of people coming and standing in one line. Okay, other than that, there are more examples. We'll see that. The number of outcomes occurring during a Poisson experiment or process is called as the Poisson random variable, and its probability distribution is called as the Poisson distribution. Okay, the number of outcomes can be like, if you are counting the number of houses per square kilometer, okay, the number of people arriving in 1 hour to stand in the line or getting down at a bus stand or bus stop or whatever. Okay, the number of billboards per kilometer. Okay, as you're driving on the highway, you see many billboards, right? So next is the number of particles per liter, the number of dust particles or some polluted particles in 1 liter of water. Okay, notice something here, the units are different in each one of these examples. This is per square kilometer, this is per hour, this is per kilometer. So this is area, this is time, this is length, this is volume. Okay, clear, no? So just write it here: area, time, and this is length, and this is volume. Okay, these are just some examples. So the distribution is given like this. The probability distribution of a Poisson random variable x representing the number of outcomes occurring in a given time interval or a specified region is denoted by t. Now, although I'm using the alphabet t here, most of our examples are on time, but some of the examples will be on area and length. Okay, we'll see that as we go ahead. Okay, this is given by probability of x, the probability of getting x outcomes within that time interval t, where lambda is the average number of outcomes per unit time, is given by e raised to lambda t to the power x divided by x factorial. Okay, clear? Where lambda is the average number of outcomes per unit time, distance, area or volume depending on what your question is about, and the value of e is 2.71828. Okay, so we won't be using a calculator for this problem, so we'll just substitute only the value of x in the question and keep on. Okay, okay, so we'll see some examples. The examples are very easy on this. You'll have to only identify that the question is based on this type of distribution and write the value of lambda over there and substitute lambda in the this thing. That's all it is. Okay, so it's just a one line answer. For that you will be getting 2 marks each leg. So okay, so one example, on an average 3 accidents occur per month at a certain intersection. What is the probability that in a given month at this intersection exactly 5 accidents will occur, less than 3 accidents will occur, and at least 2 accidents will occur? Okay, just leave a place to write down the previous parts and that you can go home and write down. Just leave one page and then start with the examples. Okay, so just write this question down. What happened? Okay, let us solve this one. Awesome. Okay, so it's given to you all that the average is 3, no? Okay, so also you all know that for Poisson distribution, this mu is equal to where mu is equal to lambda t average. Okay, so lambda, by the way, is given as, this is 3 accidents per month, right? Okay, so mu will be equal to just 3. Okay, no need for per month over there. okay, because I'm multiplying the time unit into it. Okay. If it was 3 billboards per kilometer or 3 people per square kilometer, no, then mu will be just 3. That per square kilometer, per meter, per kilometer, everything that gets multiplied out with that t over there. Okay. So now what they've asked us in this question is, what is the probability of, this is small p by the way, capital P of x is equal to 5. A is equal to capital X is equal to 5. So what should be the answer? This will be e raised to minus 3 to the power 5 upon 5 factorial. Okay, now you can leave the answer up till here. No need to simplify because you don't know this value, and this value is a bit difficult to calculate. Okay, B question was what? Probability of x less than 3 accidents. Wait, what did it say? Fewer than 3, no? Okay, so it will be strictly less than 3. Okay, so less than 3 will be what now? Yeah, so P of x is equal to 0 plus P of x is equal to 1 and P of x is equal to x is equal to 2. What will this be? E raised to minus 0, minus 3 raised to 0 upon 0 factorial, that is 1. Then this is e raised to minus 3 raised to 1 upon 1 factorial, e raised to minus 3 square upon 2 factorial. This actually simplifies into something nice, but that requires some maths things which I have not done. If you will notice here, this e raised to minus 3 will come out common. What remains over there is only 1 plus 3 upon 1 factorial, okay, plus 3 square upon 2 factorial. There is a simplified formula for this, but I won't be doing that. Okay, so you can stop this up till here. No need to simplify further for y'all. Next, 6 C, at least 2 accidents will occur. Probability आने कसा बारीक 2 मिनिटाचं. Okay, here we have x is equal to at least 2. Yeah, so how we'll do this? So this will be probability of x is equal to 2, x is equal to 3, x is equal to 4. It can continue forever. That will be difficult to write down, right? So what we'll do? So what is the option to deal with this now? Probability of x greater than 2 can be written as, what's its complement? Complement of greater than will be what?
1 minus.
Less than 2, no? So it will be 1 minus the complement. Okay? So this will become 1 minus probability of x strictly less than 2. Okay? Note this, this is greater than and this is less equal to. So 2 is not counted here. When you're solving discrete problems, this becomes important. When you're doing continuous problems, that one point does not make any difference. In case of discrete, your answer will go wrong. Okay? So this will be probability of 1 minus x is equal to 0 plus 1 minus x is equal to 1. So this is 1 minus this bracket e minus 3 to the power 1 upon 1 factorial. Okay? झालं? Uh, So this is a short question. Huh? So in a certain area of United States, on an average, it's hit by 6 hurricanes per year. Okay, you all don't require all this information. What is required is only average is 6. Okay, find the probability that in a given year the area will be hit by fewer than 4 hurricanes, anywhere between 6 to 8 hurricanes. Okay, so what is the average? 6. So it's given in this problem here directly, lambda is 6 per year. Okay, so mu will be equal to 6 lambda times t. Okay, so the first question was probability of x less than equal to, sorry, it's just less than 4 hurricanes. By the way, you should write this, x is the number of hurricanes. Even for the previous problem, no, just write down x is number of accidents. Just write this down. What is the meaning of x? If you will solve problems without telling me what is x, I won't give you all marks. Because there is no meaning of what is written there below that. Okay, so what should this be? This should be probability of, we'll do it in a better way. We'll write summation sign I is equal to 0 up till 3, probability of x is equal to I. Okay, so this will be summation I is equal to 0 up till 3 e raised to minus 6 over here, 6 to the power I upon I factorial. Easy, no? One word answer. So next was A was this. The B part of this question was 6 to 8. This is including, so this will become summation I is equal to 6 up till 8 I is equal to 0, I is equal to 6 up till 8 e raised to minus 6 raised to I upon I factorial. As a questioning, just like that. Assignments of bare marks madam assignment. Giving no. So basically what is this is, here only the summation sign you have to deal with. Okay, I have not changed anything except for the summation sign.
Then we can write this question.
Yeah, actually for science students I have to make them solve this full thing. But you all don't have those properties with you all, so I'm allowing you all to write up till here only. Okay,
You need to find the value.
you'll require a calculator for this now, and this will be very complicated actually to deal with. बोरोगे ना तो okay, so we'll stop with this. Okay, bure. Wait, I'll solve that assignment problems.
Answer sheet ji sir.
Answer sheet now I'll have to sit and solve.
Next class.
Next class I'll give like that. I'll solve and send. छे कितने किलो अशकल मोदेगा. So solve the assignment and go to sleep on the laptop only. हाँ
स्वतःला जितक्या सांभाळल्या तितक्या त्याला सांभाळ तशा म्हणच्या नव्हता आपटलो होईत
You are master sir. Master sir. And what is this? 29 of first. What is the whole number? 29? 21. 29. It's only 4 pages. One. Nice one. 3 pages of text. Big layer.
after questions in this after questions in the
Tell us, sir. Who's this now? Start eating, no? What is people? Chart paper and management.